Hello and welcome back to Hogwarts Legacy Part 9. Today, we have to improve our magical ability before we can start the next trial. We have three main quests. One with Sirona. We have to go talk to her in the Three Broomsticks right here. We have to attend Beasts class, and then we also have to talk to Gladwin Moon, who is the caretaker for Hogwarts. All right, let's get started. Sirona? Hello?
Hello there. Nice to see you.
Hello, Miss Ryan. I wanted to thank you again for your help with Rookwood and Harlow the day of the troll attack.
Sirona, please. And I was happy to help. Oh, those two are nothing but trouble. Glad you and your friend were here when they found you.
I am too. You were speaking to a goblin here that day.
Yes, Lodgok. He's a friend.
It seemed as though you were on good terms with him.
I've known him for years. We met when I was waiting tables here as a student, well before I bought the place. He was cordial enough, but we weren't friends then. His mistrust of wizard kind ran deep.
But you're friends now.
We are. Hadn't seen him in years when he came in a few months ago. But he recognized me instantly, which is more than I can say for some of my own classmates. Took them a second to realize I was actually a witch, not a wizard. Not all goblins are like Ranrock and his loyalists. Lodgok is as worried as the rest of us about what's been going on.
In that case, I'd like to talk with him. About Ranrock in particular. Where might I find him?
I assume your interest is to do with the rumors I've heard about Ranrock working with our friend
Why doesn't
Rookwood.
she talk
It
to
is.
If he's not here, you might find him doing business at the Hog's
goblin
Head.
that was in Lower Hogsfield?
He's a
that we already
trusted metal
helped?
trader. You should mention that we spoke. He can, understandably, be wary of witches and wizards, even ones as young as you. That said, if you're looking for information on Ranrock to help rein him in, you'll find an ally in Lodgok.
Have you heard what Ranrock and Rookwood are working on together?
Not much more than the fact that they seem to have some sort of uneasy alliance. Friendship between wizards and goblins is rare enough, but between those two, they each want something the other has. I can guarantee it. That said, I fear they're like a two-headed serpent. Both will need to be taken down to stop whatever scheme they've been plotting.
You seemed unfazed by Rookwood and Harlow the other day. They don't scare you.
They're bullies. Plain and simple. Never tolerated them in my own life, and certainly won't tolerate them going after my friends. Don't misunderstand me. They're dangerous wizards and shouldn't be trifled with. They should, however, be confronted and reminded, whenever possible, that the rest of us have each other's backs.
Thank you, Sirona.
If you find Lodgok, please give him my best. I don't know what you've done to make such powerful enemies, but please, watch your back.
Revelio.
Where did I just... Oh. Mounted Hogshead. This mounted hogshead rolls its eyes and snuffles its nose as it oversees the seedy atmosphere and decidedly interesting clientele of the Hogshead.
Welcome to the Hogshead. Any empty seat is yours.
The hog just say that?
Hello, Lodgok. Sirona said I might find you here.
She did she? Did she send you with news?
No, actually, I wanted to speak with you. It's about Ranrock.
Now I remember. The Three Broomsticks. Day of the troll attack. You're the student he's after.
I am, and I need to know what he and his loyalists are up to, so I can stay a step ahead.
Let's say I did know. Why should I trust you?
Sirona trusts me, and she said she thought our interests may be aligned.
Well, if Sirona trusts you, very well. I may know of something that could help us both. A way to get Ranrock to confide his plans to me.
I'm listening.
Years ago, a heinous witch stole a sacred goblin relic. Rumor has it that it now rests in her sarcophagus, in a tomb accessible only by wizard kind. Ranrock and I had a falling out a while back. The relic could well repair the chasm between us.
Very well. I'll retrieve the relic if you promise to share Ranrock's plans with me.
We will have to trust each other. I, that you will not abscond with the relic, and you, that I'll share what I learn. Gather whatever supplies you may need, and meet me near the witch's tomb.
Great. Great. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Hogshead Docks. These docks outside the Hogshead Inn offer a pleasant place to sit and relax, if one can do so whilst only a stone's throw from whatever nefarious goings-on may be occurring in the notoriously shady inn.
I'm ready.
Good. There's no time to lose.
What precisely is the relic I'm to retrieve?
A valuable heirloom known as the Helmet of Urtgott. The witch considered herself a collector and purchased the helmet as a trinket. She cared not what pain she caused the goblins. Goblins believe that the rightful owner of any object is its maker, not its purchaser.
Wizard kind sees things differently. It's a wonder goblins and wizards have ever been able to work together.
The differences between our kinds are myriad.
They seem to be.
It may surprise you to know that I do not believe those differences always to be insurmountable. It is the reason I find myself traveling with you to this tomb today. Ah, and there it is. The witch's tomb.
Oh, dreadful looking place, isn't it?
Jeez, that's where someone's buried, Isabella.
I wish you luck retrieving the helmet. As a wand carrier, you should have an advantage. Now, before you set off, do you have any questions?
What about this helmet makes it so special?
The Helmet of Urtgott is an ancient and storied relic, forged during a time of unity among the goblin clans. It inspired greatness, that is, until it was no longer ours. Then it became something else. A symbol of what has been lost, of all that wizard kind has taken from us. Reclaiming it would mean a great deal to goblin kind, and to Ranrock. He would be grateful to me should I return it.
It seems Ranrock and Rookwood are conspiring. Why would that be?
I had heard this. When the dark-hearted conspire, they seldom make their full intentions clear to one another. I can only speculate, but I imagine their alliance is uneasy and quite fragile. Let us hope that ours is less so.
Don't suppose you have any idea what could be waiting for me inside the tomb?
Considering a dark witch was involved, I suppose there's a chance you may encounter the Dark Protectors, known as Inferi. The foul creatures thrive on darkness and the cold. Vanquish them with light, force, and most effectively fire.
It all seems clear to me now that we're here.
I do hope our alliance proves fruitful. Again, I wish you luck. I will remain here, eagerly awaiting your return. Please, be careful.
Oh man, I forgot to check how many collection chests were in here. Can I still check? Nope. Dang it.
It's sealed.
A moth.
Curious.
Curious.
Lewis.
We've done this. We did this in the mermaid cave.
Merlin's beard.
Yep, a rat.
This can't be the witch's tomb. Likely I need to go further. I have a feeling I'm not alone here.
What makes you say that? Okay. We already need fire to be.
Fringo! Accio! Incendio! Oh, stay back!
Whoa! Whoa! What just happened?
What's that hanging there? Looks precarious. Down I go. No other way.
Look at that, the water's black. I would have thought my game would bug out with the water. Not me?
The witch's final resting place. Lodgok said the helmet was in her sarcophagus. The dead Ashwinder. Your compatriots must have made off with the helmet. Lodgok won't like this. Better show this to Lodgok. There must be some sort of mechanism for this doorway.
Just touch the fire. That's all you gotta do.
Lodgok, the sarcophagus has been raided. I found no helmet. Only a dead Ashwinder.
Damn! They got here first! We need to get it before Rookwood uses it to further ingratiate himself to Ranrock. I saw one of their campsites not far from here, but I fear you must go in alone. My fighting days are behind me.
I'll head there now.
Good. There's no time to lose. Get to that helmet before Rookwood does, or we will lose our chance at any leverage, no matter how small, with Ranrock. To think those wretched thieves have their hands on such a relic.
He has never seen me fight before. So, like, how does he know that I'm capable? That's a huge assumption to make on a student. You know me.
There they
Stealth.
are. The Ashwinders.
A troll! Let's let them deal with that. I'll try and find them.
That's it.
Wow.
This is for Rookwood!
Girl, you got some bigger problems.
I retrieved the helmet from the Ashwinders.
Well done. This is sure to impress Ranrock. The helmet shines even more brightly than I imagined. The etchings, the contour of the profile, remarkable.
It looks stunning, Lodgok. I see why you wanted it back.
You did the thieves a service by recovering it. I know many a goblin who would have killed for it.
Ah, then I'm glad to be rid of it myself.
Thank you. This should earn Ranrock's trust. I will take it to him immediately. It may distract him from his search.
His search?
It is merely an inkling. You have impressed me greatly, friend. I am glad that I trusted you. We shall speak soon. Best to keep our arrangement quiet for now. Many will not believe that our aims might possibly be aligned.
Understood. Alrighty, now that we finished the Helm of Urktak, we're gonna talk to Mr. Gladwin Moon, see what he would like us to do for him. House Point Hourglasses. These large ornate hourglasses containing rubies, diamonds, sapphires, and emeralds are enchanted to keep count of house points for Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin, respectively. Hufflepuff gets diamonds? Nice.
Hello again, Mr. Moon.
Oh, I was hoping to see you again, my young friend. Gladwin Moon, Hogwarts caretaker, at your service. First, please allow me to apologize if I seemed a bit, unsteady when we last met. I'm afraid I had a rather disconcerting encounter. Although I hear your visit to Hogsmeade was even more eventful than mine.
I suppose you could call it eventful. I certainly wasn't expecting a troll attack.
Oh, of course not. And from what I understand, the village was lucky you were there. In fact, my recent visit to Hogsmeade is the reason I was hoping to bump into you. I could use your help with something. Do you see that curious statue over there?
Do people not know that there
Watch
are
what
other
happens
students
when that
in this
light changes
castle?
from day to night.
We're just gonna sit here the whole time? Weird.
Now, if you wouldn't mind humoring me for a moment, see if you can remove the moon from the statue. Oh, odd little contraptions, aren't they? It seems the statue vanishes once the moon is removed. Which, incidentally, can only be done at night. Why don't you hold on to that one for now, and I'll explain more as we walk. Ever since that fateful day in the village, those curious statues have begun appearing about the castle. A fair number have been strewn around Hogsmeade. Someone, it seems, is trying to torment me. You see, that day in Hogsmeade, I turned a corner and came face to face with a boggart, or shapeshifter, if you will, which takes the form of whatever scares you most. This one took the form of a demiguise.
A demiguise?
Yes! Terrifying creature that can see the future. Wholly unnerving. I encountered one when I was a lad in Korea. Terrible experience. Those statues are demiguises. The moons, I assume, are an uninspired play on my name. Some jackanapes used a boggart to learn my greatest fear and use it against me. I have my suspicion as to the scoundrel or scoundrels responsible. It is my hope that they will slip up and reveal themselves as the statues disappear. That is why I need your help in removing the statues.
Why me?
A couple of reasons, frankly. First, your daring do against those trolls in Hogsmeade has gained you a reputation for fearlessness. Second, as macabre and hideous as a demiguise is, most would find my fear of them unwarranted. You, however, have seen how they affect me. I'm at my wit's end,
That's
young
fair.
friend. I simply can't bring myself to go near them. In fact, I know of 2 statues right here in the faculty tower. Perhaps you could start simply by removing them, so I can go about my evening duties.
The faculty tower. I'm not sure I should be going in there.
Oh, you needn't worry. You'll be perfectly fine if you simply mind you're not seen. First, you know how to cast a disillusionment charm, correct? You'll want to do that before wandering the tower at night. Next, you'll notice that the door is locked. However will you get in? Alohomora, that's how.
But what about curfew?
Curfew? Oh, tosh. I sense you're a bit like me when I was your age.
When have we
school
ever
was
cared
my
about
oyster.
curfew, Isabella?
And I took advantage of it. Oh, everyone loved me for it. Oh, those were the days. Now, you'll find one statue in the prefect's bathroom and the other in the hospital wing. Good luck. Oh, and thank you.
Alohomora.
Well done! You're in! Remember, use a disillusionment charm so no one claps eyes on you. This is a restricted area of the castle, after all.
I feel like as a teacher, he could just walk with me. Reminder to staff. The Hogwarts house elves do an exceptional job of keeping the castle in order. They are seldom unprepared for any number of items that they may encounter each day. However, only the other day, an unexpected stash of wizarding crackers went off from behind a cushion. The cacophony was most untoward, engulfing one poor elf in blue smoke and giving those of us nearby an abominable ringing in our ears for the rest of the day. I expect that the culprit was Peeves. Please keep an eye out and be careful. Matilda Weasley, Deputy Headmistress.
How are your students getting along this year?
Rather poorly, I'd say.
Jeez.
Is that so?
This must be the prefect's bathroom.
Saying that Ramrock's loyalists are preparing for a rebellion.
Revelio.
Troll. How dare you speak to a prefect that way? I'm a prefect too, you twit. That's 50 health points. You know you can't do that.
Bro,
This has really the nerve of some students, thinking they can simply go anywhere uninvited.
bro. Professor Fig, I am in receipt of your most recent owl. Apologies for the delay in my response. I am still receiving a good deal of correspondence regarding the introduction of the not-so-recent stooging penalty Quidditch, which, in my humble opinion, has brought the game to the modern age. Astonishing, frankly, how many spectators want nothing less than Quidditch keepers flattened entirely. As to the topic of your recent letter, we at the Ministry assure you that any and all potential threats to wizardkind are taken quite seriously. I have made note of your concerns, and inasmuch as time allows, the Department of Magical Law Enforcement will ensure that the matter is looked into, schedule permitting. We value the opinions of esteemed wizards such as yourself, and you may rest assured that we have matters well in hand. Should you wish, I can have my secretary secure seats for yourself and a guest in this year's Quidditch final. I think you would be delighted to see the results of a well-run and efficient government. Warmest regards, Ferris Spavin, Minister of Magic. Sounds like the Minister for Magic only cares about Quidditch.
Revelio.
Prefect's Bathroom. The Prefect's Bathroom features a swimming pool-sized bathtub that can be filled with enchanted soap and colorful bubbles, as well as a beautiful painted mural depicting a
I suppose Professor Black knows best, but the students are terribly disappointed.
Okay, it was the Quidditch Injury record. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Hospital Wing. Attending healer, Nurse Noreen Bailey. Patient name, redacted by order of Professor Black. Age, redacted by order of Professor Black. Notes. The patient was injured during a Quidditch match, though in my professional opinion, A, redacted by order of Professor Black, hardly counts as an injury. In fact, if any was injured, it was me, as I do not believe I've ever rolled my eyes quite so hard in my life. It is a wonder I can even see to write this note. Either unbelievably, or indeed despicably, the headmaster now wants to cancel Quidditch, all because of pure blood. Redacted by Professor Black. Redacted by Professor Black. Before the snitch was even in sight. When I pressed the headmaster slightly, I was told, redacted by order of Professor Black. Staggering. Fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Jewel-encrusted tortoise shell. Many assume this to be the shell of a fire crab native to Fiji. However, those in the know swear it's a bejeweled tortoise shell created by a mad wizard named Versailles. When his chateau was overrun by nifflers, the dazzling shell was carried off to be discovered years later by a Hogwarts professor on holiday in the Ardennes. Oh. I haven't seen a Daedalian key in a while. I haven't been ready. Oh my god. Sorry. There we go.
Hello, Mr. Moon. I have the moons you asked me to collect.
Oh goodness, you're as fearless as I'd hoped. An excellent start. If we can collect more, it may shed some light on who's behind all this. Of course, I first suspected Peeves. He drove the previous caretaker, Rancorous Carp, to an early retirement with his intolerable buffoonery. But that does not explain the boggart in Hogsmeade, does it?
Oh.
No. I am determined, with your help, to discover the identity of my tormentor.
It's definitely intriguing. I'd like to help you solve this mystery.
You, my friend, are a gentle person and a scholar, and I have something to offer in exchange for your assistance. Now, remember, the moons are only retrievable at night. Thus, I encourage you to use a disillusionment when necessary.
How many statues are there to find?
I don't know precisely, but I've spotted dozens. Seems they're everywhere I look. You have your work cut out for you, if you were to ever unravel their meaning.
You mentioned offering something in exchange for my assistance.
I did. Once you've brought me enough moons, I'll show you even more powerful forms of alohomora. Not every lock is as easy to pick as the faculty towers.
Understood. I shall keep an eye out.
I appreciate that.
Revelio.
Oh, I knew you were the one to ask for help. Keep at it so we can solve this mystery.
Revelio.
Moving staircase. The savvy student is wise to keep an eye on the stairs, as they will change position without notice. While certain students may not mind being late for class, they may very well regret being late to dinner. The Hogwarts Architect. The Hogwarts Architect, shown here surrounded by the 4 house mascots, designed and oversaw the construction of Hogwarts Castle alongside founder Rowena Ravenclaw, who is credited with creating its ever-changing floor plan. I love how all the houses besides Gryffindor have like small animals as their mascot. Oh, everybody's at class. I was just sleeping.
Welcome, everyone. I see you've already met some of the many beasts we study in this class. Though be advised, none of these creatures should be taken lightly. They are all in their own way dangerous, especially if one does not know how to handle them properly. Now, it seems many of you are out of practice. Let's take some time to review the basics of how to care for a beast, shall we? Miss Sweeting, would you please assist our new student with the lesson today?
Yes, Professor Howen. Hello, I'm Poppy Sweeting.
He's so cute.
Don't worry about Professor Howen's speech. She over-exaggerates sometimes. All the beasts in class are perfectly safe. Oh!
Miss Sweeting, pay attention, please. The tongue of a puffskein can be a slippery devil.
Yes, Professor. Here, you can practice on Gerald. Just keep an eye out for his tongue.
Cute. Look at Gerald. Look at Gerald.
You can use my brush. Just be gentle. Oh, and think pleasant thoughts. I like to think it enriches his experience.
Oh, yeah.
That's lovely. I'm sure he feels much better. I think he might be hungry. Would you mind giving him some beast feed? What do you suppose the pellets taste like to Gerald? Pudding, I like to think. I think we can safely say that Gerald likes you.
That's good news. He seems very nice.
He is. Kindness is one of his best qualities, right after ambition and cleanliness.
Good work, everyone. Now, let's make our way to the pens and select another beast. And please, do be careful as you feed and groom them. Miss Sweeting, why don't you show our new student to the Neasels in the farthest pen?
This way. The Neasels are over here.
They're cats.
Oh, couple of Neasel whiskers ought to get me a few canuts at least. Enough to buy something from Honeydukes. Stupid thing.
What in Merlin's name are you doing?
Tuss, peculiar Poppy. Worried about a worthless little rodent.
Her name is Persephone!
Her name is Persephone!
That's really not funny.
Let's go.
Those two don't belong anywhere near this class. Poachers in training. Persephone was onto them instantly. Thank you for your help. Let's carry on. Feed and brush the Neasels just as you did with Gerald. The Neasels really took to you. They know a good egg when they see one. As do I.
Writing down.
It appears our time has come to an end. Please close the pens and see yourselves out. Now, where is our new student? There you are. I would like a moment, please.
Hello, Professor. You wanted to speak with me?
I did. How did you find your first beasts lesson?
It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
Good. You seem to understand that when beasts are properly controlled, they can play a vital role in our lives. Some provide us with magically imbued materials, if cared for correctly, which does not include torturing them for whiskers. Well done, by the way. Probably best to let me handle it next time.
Yes, Professor.
They're nearly as bad as the Savagers in Rookwood's poacher pack. Sadly, we're the ones who suffer, stumbling over dead beasts. Terrible waste of resources.
Surely the poachers can be brought to justice by someone. The Ministry, perhaps.
An optimistic idea. Now, why don't we focus on more immediate matters that we can control? Professor Weasley has asked that I prepare some assignments designed to help you catch up to the other 5th years. Be on the lookout for my owl. Meanwhile, I also encourage you to study as many beasts as you can on your own time.
I need to talk to you. Come here.
Talking to me?
Did you need something, Poppy?
Thank you again for saying something to those brutes so that I didn't have to. You were an augury at noon in the desert.
I certainly hope that's a good thing.
It's something my gran and I say. It means that something or someone is a welcome surprise. At least, that's what we decided it meant.
I couldn't stand there and watch them harm the poor thing.
We're of a similar mind.
I mean, she only
Actually,
said one
in
thing.
light of that, there's someone I'd like you to meet. In the forest.
You've intrigued me. Very well, lead the way.
I'd hoped I would. I wouldn't take just anyone there. In fact, you're the first.
We literally just
Really?
met.
Well, thank you, I think.
As I said, we think alike. Pleasant surprise. Quite the weather we're having, don't you think?
Poppy, where are you taking me?
It really is much better if I just show you. Don't worry, we're nearly there. It's just ahead. Stand back.
A hippogriff. With a big butt.
Please meet Highwing. Isn't she just magnificent? Go on, introduce yourself to her. But be careful. You must always show hippogriffs the proper courtesy before you approach them. I knew it! I don't think I've ever seen a hippogriff take to someone this quickly. You can feed and brush her if you'd like. I come and check on her every once in a while. Bring her pasties, tell her what's going on in the castle. You wouldn't know from looking at her, but she's a dreadful busybody. So, what did you think of Highwing?
I thought she was brilliant. Can't believe you introduced me to her.
I suspected you two might get along.
Are you the reason students have been seeing hippogriffs flying above the Forbidden Forest?
Perhaps. Did you know that once you earn a hippogriff's trust,
Throwback
they'll
to
always be there
episode
for you?
2.
I've seen it firsthand with her.
How exactly did you and Highwing cross paths?
It's a longer story, but I rescued her from poachers a few years back. Got her to safety and, well, she was fine until recently. You may have noticed that poachers are something of a problem in the area, so I worry they could get her again. And I might not be there next time.
Professor Howen mentioned the poachers as well. She seemed to imply that we couldn't rely on the Ministry to help.
I don't often agree with Professor Howen, but on that, I fear she's right. The poachers' influence is growing. I see them every day in the village, lingering, talking to people. They're up to something. I'm just not sure what.
That does seem strange. Sounds as if they're planning something.
Exactly. I think I'm going to look into it. Find out what's going on, what they're doing.
I'm not sure that's such a good idea. The poachers seem a dangerous lot.
They don't scare me. Besides, I'd do anything to keep Highwing safe.
You seem undeterred. Will you let me know what you find out?
Oh, very well. I will. I should be going, but we'll speak again soon, I hope.
Hello, friend. I wonder if you might stop by the Three Broomsticks when you can. I would like your help with something.
As I mentioned, my sister Anne misses Hogwarts, and she hasn't been herself lately. I'd like to take you up on your promise to visit her with me. I'm heading to Feldcroft soon, so I'll look forward to seeing you there. It's just south of Hogwarts. By the way, hope you're faring well with the blasting curse. It's still one of my favorites.
Now that you've attended Beasts class, I've asked Deke to assist you in using the room to further your studies in that regard. Please meet him there when you can.
I've not heard from my Uncle Roland in quite some time. I've been beside myself with worry. Could you meet me in the courtyard?
Anybody else sending me an owl? Jeez. Oh wow, we have a lot of quests. Okay. Let's go play Summoner's Court. Let's go win Summoner's Court, I should say. And who could our opponent be? They appear to be in Slytherin. Nope, Ravenclaw. Samantha Dale.
Hello, Samantha. Are you here for Summoner's Court?
I am. I'm actually rather good at it. Used to play all the time with my brother until... Never mind. Shall we begin?
Yes, I'm ready to play.
Then let's get summoning.
You know, you ever think about logically how long these characters wait for me to return? Not return, but like to show up for their quest. Like she could be waiting here for days.
That was sensational! How am I to top that?
You literally can't. Unless you knock it off. But you didn't. Knock yours off, though. Oh. That's fine. I still won.
How am I to top that? That settles it, then. After your poor show against Natty in class, I thought I could beat you.
My poor show?
Appears I overestimated
I'm pretty
myself.
sure I got 150 every single time.
More like you underestimated me. That was your mistake.
Fair enough. But a little sporting spirit wouldn't hurt you. I happen to know who you're up
Well,
against
you
next,
literally
and
said
she's
I had
no
a poor
shy
play
opponent.
when I didn't, so
Best of luck.
that's on you, girl. Don't call me a poor sport. Now let's go answer the owl post that Miss Adelaide Oakes, a fellow Hufflepuff, sent us.
I could just...
Three Sisters Bells. The Three Sisters Bells are said to be a tribute to three similarly named beautiful steep ridges that rise majestically over a glen in Argyllshire. It is rumored that one can hear them ring in the glen way across the highlands when they are rung in the castle. Locals have been baffled by the mysterious ringing for years. Are you? Okay. You know, that could have played as just magic, because, you know, magic, but it wasn't. It was a glitch.
Hello, Adelaide. I received your owl.
Thank you for coming. You see, my Uncle Roland is a metal trader who's quite well known in the goblin community. He normally sends me owls every week when he's on his business travels.
I love the voice actor
In his
for
last
Adelaide.
owl, he alluded to dealings with those radical goblins, Ranrock's loyalists. It's been ages since that owl and I'm worried. What with the troll attack on Hogsmeade and the rumours that goblins may have been involved, well, I'm fearing the worst. Should I be worried about my uncle, or am I overthinking this?
I think you're right to be concerned, Adelaide. Your uncle may be in trouble.
You're much more understanding than Professor Weasley. She heard I was going to look for him and forbade me from leaving the grounds. She's convinced he can handle himself, but I can't concentrate on anything until I know he's all right. Could you try to find out for me? From what I hear, you're almost as adventurous as Uncle Roland.
Has your uncle traded with many goblins?
Yes, for ages. Even speaks gobbledygook. But he only recently mentioned Ranrock's lot, insisting the galleons were worth the risk. He does it for me. Between robes and supplies, attending Hogwarts costs a fair sickle. And besides that, Uncle Roland has expensive taste. He's sacrificed so much for me over the years. I promised him that as soon as I finish Hogwarts, I shall be the one taking care of him.
I take it you and your uncle are close.
We are. My mother died when I was born, and I lost my father when I was 5. Uncle Roland's looked after me for as long as I can remember. He knows I get anxious when he travels, and that's why he sends me all the owls, to let me know that he's all right.
I'll try and look into it for you, Adelaide.
Thank you. He's very thorough in his record keeping, notes all his trades in a journal, makes maps. In fact, in his last owl, he drew me a map of his next stop. He planned to set up camp north of here. I do hope you're able to find out where he is. Thank you again for any help you can provide.
I hope Adelaide's Uncle Roland is all right. She seems very worried. Adelaide mentioned her uncle's camp may be near Brockborough, past the river.
I don't think we've been, Isabella. I'm faster than the birds, baby.
Could this be Mr. Oakes's campsite? Reynolds Loyalists, just ahead. Should I take them by force or be discreet?
We're gonna be discreet. Oh god. Dang it! Oh, I can take the rest of them out secretly. Bet.
Tell us. Now, to find out what happened here. Mr. Oakes's trade journal.
Ranrock's lot agreed to meet, but I do feel a tad uneasy. They amended their requests and were angry when I asked questions. I overheard some of their planning gobbledygook. They're after my rare metal deposits that are suitable for drilling. I'm afraid of upsetting them further. They seem rather volatile. And I need this transaction to happen. Perhaps we can work out a compromise, perhaps not. Roland Oakes.
Adelaide said that her uncle kept notes of his trades, maps. Perhaps these landmarks will lead me to him.
I just gotta follow the river.
Nothing to poach it
A
out.
rock formation. That's the first landmark on this map. Now, to find the crooked tree.
Where's... Oh. Yeah, rock formation. I don't know how you saw that, considering we were just trying to kill some poachers, but you do you, my girl. Oh, hello, dear. And that wasn't a endearing term. Hello? The river forked. I repeat, the river forked. I don't know where I'm going anymore. Probably that. Dang it, I missed the chest. If you don't play as a stealth killer in the game, what are you doing?
Revelio. This is the spot on the map. I'd best have my wits about me.
Not that much.
That was a close one.
Really wasn't. We were fine. If you aren't casting Revelio at all times, what are you doing?
It looks as though Adelaide's instincts were spot on.
Look at all these guys. They don't know what's coming.
A boiler door. How to open it?
That's not our concern right now.
What did you do?
Like I said, they don't know what's gonna hit them. A little closer. Come a little closer. Call me a goblin, cause I'm getting all the loot.
Hello? Mr. Oakes?
Yes, I'm here. They've taken my wand. This cell has an enchanted lock. I have experience with these locks, but I need my wand if I have any chance of opening it. Look for a boiler door. I've heard them speak of it.
I need to find Mr. Oakes's wand. Where could it be?
Why couldn't he go up to the door to talk to me? He was awfully quiet. What's nice about dungeons, though, is that there aren't any reinforcements that come. What you get is what you got. What you got is what you get.
This must be Mr. Oakes's wand. Perhaps now he can set himself free.
I'm coming with your wand!
You found it! Pass it to me! Hurry! Before they come! I must get out! Hurry! My wand! Oh, thank you, Merlin! Thank you!
Oh, fancy.
You did it! I found my wand and... Wait, you're a student? Oh, we must get you to safety immediately. It's dangerous.
It's all right, Mr. Oakes. I've dealt with these goblins before.
Dear Merlin.
I killed all of
very
them,
lucky
sir.
or very talented. Well, how did you find me?
I'm a friend of Adelaide's. She was worried about your business with Ranrock's loyalists.
Oh, she was right to be. I couldn't go through with the agreement, and when I told them, I ended up blindfolded and behind bars. Been locked in that infernal cell for so long, they
surprised they didn't
forgot I
just
was
kill
even
you.
there. I overheard things. If only I could reward you for what you've done. Blasted goblin stole every knut on me. All I can say is thank you. Truly.
You mentioned you overheard things.
Sad tale, really. I think I know where Ranrock's unfortunate vendetta against wizardkind began. Although dragon breeding was outlawed by the Warlocks Convention of 1709, Ranrock stumbled upon an illegal dragon camp. He was young, found the creatures fascinating. He'd visit the camp in secret whenever he could, never making his presence known. After weeks of sly surveillance, he finally summoned the courage to speak to the wizard in charge. Ranrock wanted to join them, and the creatures. The wizard happened to drop his wand. Ranrock saw an opportunity. He picked it up, went to hand it back as a means of introducing himself. The sight of a goblin with a wand sent the wizard into an instant rage. He beat Ranrock nearly to death.
Jeez.
Ever since, Ranrock has despised wizardkind, sees us all as cruel.
Am I right that you speak gobbledygook?
Unbeknownst to Ranrock's fiends, I do. I've always had an affinity for goblin culture. Knew I wanted to be a metal trader ever since I was a lad. It wasn't easy learning the language. It's complex, and my memory's as weak as my knees these days. But after decades working with fine goblin folk, I grew fairly proficient. At least, I'd like to think so.
I'm grateful I was able to help you, Mr. Oakes. Adelaide thinks the world of you.
Oh, and I her. She's become quite savvy to my trading habits, always analyzing my detailed owls. If only I hadn't resorted to trading with such fiends. A lesson I shan't soon forget. Having my wand back is like being reunited with an old friend. I must return home and inform Adelaide of my safety. Will you be all right?
I'll be fine, Mr. Oakes. You get back to Adelaide. I assure you her worries outweigh yours.
Oh, I'm anxious to see my dear niece. And then I plan to travel far from here for my next round of trading. Thank you. May life reward you justly for your deeds. Be well, my friend.
I thought he was about to walk back into the
Oakes was
cell.
lucky. Ranrock's lot would never have freed him.
Not a chest or a pouch or a coin or a potion to be seen. I scoured every last inch of this place. I stole everything from those goblins. I became one myself. Okay. Now I want to find some of the demiguise moons so I can at least unlock alohomora 2. And then I believe after you unlock alohomora 2, you should be able to get all of the Daedalian keys. So then I'll be able to complete that quest and get the prize from that quest. Let's change it to night. Is it not daytime?
What do we have here? A demiguise.
Apparently it was night? Okay. Hi, Professor. 1 down, 8 to go. That's an interesting tapestry. I want to know the meaning behind it.
Professor, could you tell me how you and Natty ended up at Hogwarts?
I can. That is an easy question. We are here because of Professor Weasley.
You knew Professor Weasley when you were in Uganda?
I knew of Professor Weasley. As you may or may not be aware, Professor Weasley's work once took her around the globe. Without providing detail that is not mine to share, I can say that she was well known in our wizarding community for, well, sharing magical knowledge between countries.
Professor Weasley seems quite knowledgeable, so I'm not surprised to hear that she'd do that sort of thing.
Indeed. Although I suspect there is much about each of your professors that would surprise and impress you. Such exchanges of information, ministry sanctioned or not, have occurred for centuries. It was an African sorcerer, in fact, who shared the unlocking charm with a certain wizard from London. A thief, rather unfortunately.
I see.
But, back to your original question. Professor Weasley had heard of my work and life in Matabeleland and my time teaching at Ouagadougou. She was deputy headmistress at Hogwarts by then, and when the position of divination professor became available, she contacted me. Her timing was perfect. I had just foreseen a change in Nat's size and my circumstances and knew that we needed to leave Uganda. Natsai was as ready as I was for a new adventure. So, off we went.
Natty has spoken of your move. She was quite kind to me my first day here, in charms.
That sounds like Natsai. I'm glad she has found a friend in you. Now, I must return to my work.
You aren't
As I have
doing
told
anything.
Natsai,
You're just standing
do
in the corner.
Be careful. I had a vision earlier this year of her with a friend, flying on winged beasts. Perhaps unsurprisingly, she will neither confirm nor deny my visions. Unless it suits her.
Oh, typical teenagers. I'm surprised I haven't gotten this one before.
Got it.
Alright, we got 3. Oh, and I walked past it. Owl Lectern. This enchanted lectern serves as the spot from which the great headmistresses and headmasters of Hogwarts, as well as Professor Black, address the school. Oh, and look at that, another Daedalian key. What? I think that's 4. The Great Hall ceiling. The ceiling of the Great Hall has been bewitched to mimic the sky above the castle. It doesn't look like the sky. That's a lot of candles, though.
Deke?
Ah, Deke is so happy to see you. Deke noticed this bag in the room the other day. You must need it to help with your schoolwork. Deke has seen one of these before. Deke calls it a knapsack.
I didn't even intend for this cutscene to happen.
Perfect
I
for
just wanted to
gathering
go
and
use the
transporting
desk.
beasts. Pleasant little breeze.
I have been thinking about something Professor Howin said in Beasts class, that I should study as many beasts as I can, on my own time. She also mentioned that poachers have been active in the area, so perhaps the beasts will be safer with us than out there on their own.
Precisely what Deke was thinking. You see, the room knew exactly what you needed, and luckily, Deke can show you how to best use the knapsack and where. Come along then.
So much for using the desk of requirement.
Our first stop will be beyond the castle grounds. We can leave now, or you can come and find Deke when you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'll come see you in like a little bit. I was just trying to sell my gear and would you look at that.
Mine now, demiguise.
Mine now, demiguise.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings! Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
I cannot thank you enough. If you could just find a few more, I'd be so very grateful.
Where should I look for more demiguise statues and moons?
All of my usual haunts, which incidentally have now become quite haunting. Here in the castle, in Hogsmeade, and believe it or not, in some of the surrounding hamlets. Oh, my tormentor is nothing if not thorough. Kept me from all my usual engagements for an eternity now.
I'll keep an eye out for more demiguise statues and see if I can bring you more moons.
You are to be commended for your bravery and valor, especially since they can only be collected at night.
Revelio.
Portrait of Barufio. This portrait depicts the wizard Barufio, famed for his brain elixir, and as an example of what happens when incantations are improperly spoken. He once said S instead of F, and found himself on the floor with a buffalo on his chest. Map of Argyllshire. This map depicts Argyllshire, a region in Scotland which contains the Hebrides, native home of the Hebridean black dragon. I think I said that correct. Violet. If you get here before me, do us a favor and procure some more mead, would you? I believe one of the fellows hanging in the 3rd floor corridor has another frame somewhere with a nice supply. Students are getting drunk?
What do we have here? A demiguise.
Yes, but it's daytime.
Mine now, demiguise.
You know, your typical student sleeps in the bathroom during the daytime. Hi! Oh, why did I do that? Sorry. There we go. I got a little happy. A little very happy. Sleeping Dragon Statue. The Hogwarts motto, Draco dormiens nunquam titilandus, means never tickle a sleeping dragon. Fortunately, this particular sleeping dragon is made of stone and will never awaken, and may be tickled to absolutely no effect. Tickle, tickle. Fine now, demi-guys. Important Muggle artifact. This misunderstood artifact is supposedly important to Muggle warfare, though most of Wizardkind find the prospect of wielding such a hefty weapon utterly head-scratching. You know, I don't know, like, why Muggleborns or just, like, half-bloods don't inform the purebloods of what is happening in the Muggle world. Because there's no way, like, they wouldn't know what a canyon is, right? A canyon. Oh my god, a cannon. I'm not a Muggle, guys. Bloody meat. At first glance, one might be inclined to alert the authorities regarding this site. Rest assured, however, that is merely bloody meat used to feed Thestrals. But what kind of meat is it? Fine now, demi-guys.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings! Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
Oh, my mind feels lighter already knowing those statues are gone. I did promise to show you how to improve casting alohomora once you'd brought me enough moons. With that knowledge, you'll be able to break open even stronger locks. However, we don't yet know who's behind these statues. Still plenty of the foul things lying in wait to torture me. Oh. If you bring me more moons, I'll show you how to cast the most powerful form of alohomora known to wizardkind. At least known to me. Keep looking for those moons, You'll save my sanity and we may get to the bottom of whoever's behind all of this.
Go talk to Sirona Ryan.
Glad you came.
Hello, Sirona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. In fact, we're working together to try and rein in Ranrock.
Are you? I suspected you and he would get along. Perhaps best I don't know details of your plans. And I shall refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something.
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I've actually met Mrs. Sprottle. I recently spoke with her about her friend, Claire Beaumont.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stay with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
Would you look at that? Demi-guys.
Ah, Upper Hogsfield. Now, where to find Mrs. Sprottle? Nice to see you again, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh,
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aiden used to collect Horklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some Horklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
Believe it or not, I have some with me.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aiden died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aiden took ill when he was collecting Horklumps on his way to see her. He made
God,
it
look
home,
at her hair.
But I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather Horklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those Horklumps. I, and the vendors I help, would greatly appreciate it.
Mine now, demiguise.
Oh, I wanted to collect the demiguise, but instead we got lit.
This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned, but I still need to visit the cave to find Sirona's box of letters. Perhaps I'll find more Better have a look around. See about the Horklumps and the box of letters.
I think Isabella has ADD.
That's all the Horklumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased.
Why are there squirrels in a cave? Dear Sirona, when I arrived here, I had a troubling sense that in many ways I wasn't like the other first years. I confess I worried that Hogwarts might not have been the proper place for me and pondered sending an owl to my parents, asking them to fetch me almost before the first week of classes had ended. How did you know? I presume you're not secretly Legalmans? But I wonder that you seem to know my thoughts better than I did myself. That day in the Three Broomsticks, when you spotted me huddled in a corner, staring blankly at an untouched butterbeer and an empty bit of parchment, my quill dripping ink woefully onto the floor, and you came to sit with me, well, I shall never forget it. I recall a sudden sense of relief, as if someone had cast a levitation charm on me. When you told me about how nervous you'd been to come to Hogwarts, I looked at you, and it seemed beyond my imagination to think of you as anything but the confident, contented witch sitting before me. In the days that followed, I marveled at how you charmed, in non-magical sense I mean, everyone around you without apology, embracing who you were and who they were. It was as though a candle had flickered on for me. I realized that I could choose that path as well. Now that my school years are ending, the frightened first-year witch I had been seems worlds away. And I know it's because you saw yourself in that despairing creature in the corner of the pub and so generously extended yourself to her. Yours sincerely, Mirabelle. Yes. Please tell Mrs. Sprottle that I still plan on visiting her and Mr. Sprottle whenever I can for their delightful conversation and, I am unashamed to admit, her incomparable Colgin cakes. Dear Sirona, I conjured this wee gift for you as a token of my gratitude. If you hadn't stood your ground on my behalf during Quidditch practice last week, I might have left the team altogether, and now we've won the Quidditch Cup. Ravenclaw House would not be the same without you. Yours sincerely, Sean. My dear Sirona, I've sent a note separately to dear Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle for their hospitality, but felt the need to put quill to parchment with my thanks to you as well. What a lovely respite from the castle. I won't soon forget how we giggled about that ridiculous gnome. Did he truly believe that he was singing? And Mrs. Sprottle's steak and kidney pie was simply glorious. I shall be dreaming of it for days. I so appreciate you including me. I fear I must warn you, however, that this does not mean I will go easy on you in next week's match. You know that Ravenclaw is no match at all for Slytherin this year. Most gratefully yours, Philomena.
This must be Sirona's box of letters.
You think? Dear Sirona, happy birthday, my darling friend. I sneaked into the kitchens and asked Finky to make your favorite, cream crowdy. She was delighted to oblige. Not sure where she got raspberries at this time of year. Genius, that Finky. S. Dear Mrs. Sprottle, Mother and Father were delighted to hear that you and I had spent the afternoon at Gladrag's last Saturday. Truth be told, I think my mother was ever so slightly envious. I shan't soon forget how heartily we laughed at my efforts to lace the bodice of my new dress, a challenge indeed, as is the rather delicate practice of properly situating a hat pin without wounding either my hat or my head. But I adore everything that we selected, and I have you to thank for now feeling like a marvelously fashionable witch. It was also a treat to dine at the Three Broomsticks without having to clear the tables. I shall own a place like that one day, mark my words. I consider myself more lucky that you and Mr. Sprottle agreed to let me stay. I know that my parents feel precisely the same way. Yours gratefully, Sirona.
I think that's everything. Sirona will be glad to have this back. Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some Horklumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
One of the letters mentioned Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard. I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlick?
It is. Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind.
The 7th
especially when it comes to young people.
That
we believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aidan. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aidan. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.
If I could have a moment of your time...
How'd you know I was standing here? You look at me.
Can I help you?
I believe you can. I'm Sophronia, by the way, and I need help from someone who's at least a 5th year. Are you familiar with Herodiana Byrne? Don't answer that. Of course you're not. No one seems to know of her but me. She's only the single greatest depulso master of all time, even taught at Hogwarts, briefly.
How interesting. I'm amazed I've never heard of her.
It's a travesty she's not more well known. I often read about great witches in my limited free time. There are many. Whilst reading about her, I learned that she built a secret depulso training room here at Hogwarts. But in typical clever Herodiana fashion, one cannot access it unless one knows depulso, which of course, 3rd years aren't taught.
And you're a 3rd year, so...
Quick one, aren't you? According to what I've read, her signature outfit may still be there. I would love to see it. Would you get Herodiana's signature outfit and show it to me?
How did Herodiana Byrne become famous by casting depulso?
She once saved orphans from a wild Graphorn by banishing it over Stonehenge. That's on Salisbury Plain. She once banished a meddlesome dark wizard all the way to Durmstrang while she was in the Alps. That one may have been exaggerated, but lots of the stories about her certainly aren't.
What ended up happening to Herodiana Byrne?
In her later years, she taught at Hogwarts, but only for a short while. Just long enough to build a secret hall, it appears. Then one day, she just disappeared. Some say she actually banished herself. No one knows for sure.
If you tell me where to go, I'll see what I can do about it.
Simply go to the Hall of Herodiana. It's at the base of the Defense Against the Dark Arts Tower. There, you'll find a series of depulso puzzles concealing pieces of Herodiana's ensemble.
Very well. I shall let you know if I find anything.
I can't wait to see Herodiana's famous ensemble. Perhaps I'll make myself a copy.
Suppose I should look for that secret hall Sophronia told me about. It does sound interesting.
You ain't seen nothing.
This must be the entrance to Herodiana. Better go inside and find those puzzles. That chest looked... That wasn't too hard. I wonder what's next. I think I'm getting the hang of this now. Just one left.
How would you know that there's only one left?
That's the last of them. Seems I was a match for Herodiana Byrne after all. And this must be the last piece of Herodiana's ensemble. It is remarkable. No wonder Sophronia wanted to see this.
Why would she make this whole secret room just to hide clothing?
Well, did you find the Hall of Herodiana?
Sophronia, I solved all the puzzles in the Hall of Herodiana.
Incredible! Then you found Herodiana's outfit. May I see it?
Of course. Behold.
Oh, how grand! You'll look as majestic as Herodiana herself, the greatest depulso master of all time. You're my second favorite hero!
Alrighty, I am going to end this episode here. All I gotta say about this episode is Isabella. She is not a witch, she's a loot goblin. Thank you for watching. You can see parts 1 through 8 on my channel. I have a playlist. Besides that, I hope you all have a great day, great night, great afternoon, whatever it is. This Ravenclaw student really needs to just let me do my outro. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.